It seems like AI is everywhere these days, right? It's like inescapable.
Yeah, it's really taken over the conversation.
But what does it all actually mean for like us? You know, our jobs, what we do. Is it all going to change?
That's the big question, isn't it? And that's what we're going to try to get to the bottom of today, right?
Right.
We've got all this research, these sources, and they explore like both sides, you know?
Like, is it all going to be amazing? Is it all going to be terrible?
Exactly. Like the hope and the concern around how AI is going to change, you know, the whole job market, the future of work.
Yeah, the future of work? That's kind of dramatic.
It is. It's big. And what's interesting is these sources go beyond like just robots replacing us, you know?
Right.
It's more nuanced. They're talking about how AI could actually reshape entire industries, like from the ground up.
It's not just factory workers being replaced by robots. Like, I keep hearing that.
Yeah, it's so much bigger. It's like healthcare, technology, logistics, you know?
Yeah, like how is it going to impact all of those?
In ways that we're only, honestly, just starting to figure out.
Yeah, we're just at the beginning.
Exactly. Like one source talks about these virtual assistants and how they're evolving rapidly, you know? And then AI diagnostics in healthcare.
Oh, wow.
Think about it. Personalized medical care. Not some luxury, but just normal. Powered by AI that analyzes your health data, you know, your own personal health data.
So my doctor would be like, a robot.
Not necessarily a robot, but using AI as like this powerful tool, you know.
Such better decisions.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder, right? Like, if that happens, a whole new industry could pop up around managing and securing all that data, which would be incredibly valuable, of course.
Right. That makes sense. And, you know, that makes me think, like, are there going to be jobs we don't even know about yet because of AI?
That's exactly what the source is getting at. Like, the possibilities are huge, right?
It's like trying to, I don't know, predict the internet back when it first started.
Exactly. Like, who could have predicted all the jobs that exist now because of the internet?
Yeah. So much has changed.
And beyond just creating jobs, right? AI could also like seriously boost efficiency and productivity in industries that already exist.
Oh, right.
The source talks about how automation could streamline all these complicated processes.
Make things faster.
Yeah, faster, but also allocate resources better, and that could lead to, you know, serious economic growth.
That's the hope, at least.
It is. But of course, we can't talk about AI and jobs without talking about, you know,
The downsides.
yeah, the worries, the anxieties around jobs disappearing.
People losing their jobs?
Exactly. The sources don't shy away from that at all. And I think a lot of people listening probably share that worry, like, the robots are coming for our jobs.
Totally. Like that image of robots taking over, it's kind of scary.
It is. And the sources, you know, they kind of paint a picture of certain job sectors that might struggle, especially jobs with like repetitive tasks.
Right. The robots can do that.
Yeah, they're good at that. But the important thing to remember is it doesn't have to be a disaster, you know?
Like, it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be mass unemployment and everyone's struggling. The key, like the sources say, is how we adapt to this new technology.
Like, we have to figure out how to make it work for us.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting. That's where the sources kind of shift gears, you know? They move from like just worrying about it to actually like doing something.
Like, we have some control over this.
Yeah. It's not like, oh, well, the future's decided, we can't do anything. The sources, they're all about how we can actively shape how AI, you know, fits into the workforce, how it changes things.
We're not just like passengers along for the ride.
Exactly. One of the sources, it says something like, it's not about if AI changes things, but how W. And that really stuck with me.
Yeah, that's powerful.
It puts the responsibility on us, right? We have choices to make.
And one of the things the sources talk about is like retraining and education.
Absolutely. Like giving people the skills they need to thrive, you know, in this world where AI is everywhere, which is going to be very soon.
But it's not just about coding, right?
Right.
Like, I don't have to become a programmer.
No, it's bigger than that. The sources highlight all these other skills, things AI can't really do yet, at least not very well.
Like, what kind of things?
They talk about like complex problem solving, critical thinking, and, you know, creativity.
Things that make us human.
Exactly. And there's this one source that goes deep on like defining complex problem solving. And it's not just, you know, crunching numbers or analyzing data. It's about understanding the context, the nuance, the human element. Like, real world problems are messy.
They're not just, you know, ones and zeros.
Exactly. It takes empathy, intuition, judgment, all those things AI hasn't quite figured out yet.
It's like being able to read between the lines, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And, you know, thinking about that, it makes me wonder, what are you doing to develop those skills?
Right. Like, what are we all doing to prepare?
Because AI is going to be a part of our work lives, like it or not. So the question is, are we going to be ready to work with it? Or are we going to get left behind?
We have to adapt, right?
We do. But the good news is the sources are actually pretty optimistic about this whole collaboration between humans and AI. Like they're saying, maybe we should stop seeing AI as a threat, stealing our jobs. Maybe it can actually enhance what we do.
Be a partner, not an enemy.
Right. Like imagine working with AI to do things better, to achieve more.
Instead of it just taking over everything.
One source has this great image of these future workplaces. You've got humans and AI working side by side, each bringing their own strengths to the table.
Okay, I like that. Like I'm picturing, I don't know, doctors using AI to analyze tons of data really quickly.
Exactly. And because of that, they have more time to focus on the human side of things, personalized care, diagnosing those really tricky cases.
So AI could actually make our jobs more, I don't know, fulfilling.
That's the idea. Get rid of the boring, repetitive stuff, let the AI handle that. And then we, the humans, we get to focus on the things we're actually good at, the things that require creativity and empathy and critical thinking.
It frees us up to be more human.
I like that, yeah. And beyond that, the sources talk about how AI could create entirely new fields of work. Stuff we can't even imagine yet.
Oh, right. Like those internet jobs we were talking about before.
Exactly. Someone's going to have to design and manage all these AI systems, right? Make sure they're ethical, that they're used responsibly.
And there's a whole new set of skills that'll be needed.
And then think about AI collaborating with us in things like scientific research, sustainability, even art.
Like AI-generated music, I've heard some of that stuff. It's pretty wild.
It is. And one source, it even talks about a golden age of human ingenuity.
Wow, that's optimistic.
It is. But the idea is, once we're freed from all those tasks that tie us down, all those repetitive, boring things, our minds will be open to solve bigger problems.
We can focus on the things that really matter. So it's like, instead of being afraid of losing our jobs, maybe we should think about what AI could free us up to do.
Yeah, flip the script, right? What if AI took over all those tasks that, kind of drain us?
All the boring stuff.
Exactly. And then what happens? What new things could we create? What could we achieve?
Could we have, more free time?
Maybe. One source even talks about AI changing the definition of work itself.
Really?
It won't just be about, producing stuff, making money.
It would be about something bigger.
Yeah, finding meaning, a sense of purpose, fulfillment.
So it's not just about the economy, it's about, our lives.
It's about everything, right? How we spend our time, what we value.
And that makes me think, if we didn't have to work all the time, if AI could handle some of that, what would we do? What would I do?
That's the question, isn't it? And that's something we want you, the listener, to think about. If AI could free you from those repetitive tasks, from the pressure of just making ends meet, what would you do?
What dreams would you chase?
What potential could you unlock that maybe, you haven't had the time or the resources to explore before?
It's kind of exciting when you think about it like that.
It is. It's instead of focusing on what we might lose, let's think about what we could gain.
A whole new world of possibilities.
And it reminds us that, the future of AI, the future of work, it's not set in stone. It depends on the choices we make, individually and as a society.
So we have to be thoughtful about this, right? How we integrate AI into our lives.
Absolutely. We need to be having these conversations, figuring out how to make it work for everyone.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think the big takeaway is AI is powerful. It's going to change things. But we have agency.
We're not powerless.
We can shape how this unfolds to make sure it benefits all of us.
And who knows, maybe it could even lead to a better future, a more fulfilling one.
A future where, work is more about meaning than just survival.
That's a future worth striving for, right? And this is just the start of the conversation, really. We hope you'll keep exploring this topic, keep learning, and be a part of shaping this future.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI and the future of work.